what are the implications for the group as India and the United States seek to further our economic association?
Well, you have to understand the partnership between India and the US on the economic term is very critical. And Adani being one of the largest companies, one of the fastest growing company, does have an impact. The cases have been dropped with prejudice. That means they can't be sued again from that perspective. You have to understand that the allegations of bribery, there was no evidence. And also you have to understand that the cases were outside the jurisdiction of the US court system. And more important is that no investor lost any money. So now this gives an opportunity for Adani Group to go raise capital in the US market and to go invest. So I think overall it is a very positive development between the two countries. And more important is there's a commitment by Adani Group to invest $10 billion in the US, which will have an impact on job creation of almost 15,000 workers. So in every aspect, both for India and for the US and for the group, it is a positive direction, positive step.
It's important, Mr. Aghi, to make the point that because this is the way that it is sometimes referred to, that the Adani Group was sort of let go of. The cases were dropped against them on the basis of this promise to create 15,000 jobs in the United States and invest billions of dollars. It doesn't work that way. In as much as the group has the right to choose whether or not it wants to invest in the US, any sort of suspicion or suggestion that it is linked to the cases against them, it just doesn't legally stand, does it?
No, absolutely. I think there's no link. You have to understand the decision by Adani Group to invest $10 billion is more of a market opportunity decision. And they will keep on looking at the market condition as they move forward. You have to understand the case had no legs. Basically, you are outside your jurisdiction. There is no evidence of bribery. There are allegations. And I think you have to understand this group has been maligned earlier in the Hindenburg report also. After some time, it got corrected and things got back to normal. So overall, we feel from a US-India perspective, it is a positive development. We applaud the Trump administration for taking this decision and moving the relationship in a positive way.
Mr. Aghi, there have been several Indian groups who seek to invest in the United States. There is a free trade agreement which has to be operationalized right now. Just crystal gaze for us into the future. How can the potential involvement of the Adani Group, which deals with so many areas in the US economy, further those trade ambitions between Delhi and Washington?
No, absolutely. When you look at last month in the Select USA, almost $20 billion investment were committed by Indian companies. When you look at SR Group, they're setting up a steel plant in Minnesota. You look at the Birla Group, they're setting up an aluminum plant in Alabama worth $15 billion. So we are seeing some big ticket items. And then you have smaller organizations setting up contract manufacturing in the US. You have pharma companies setting up operations in the US. So I think we are seeing a momentum by Indian companies to basically leverage the market opportunity and move forward. So I think this kind of sends a signal that there will be a fair, transparent system for Indian companies as they come into the US market.
Mr. Aghi, a final question to you before I go across to my other panelists. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is expected to be here in a couple of days. Again, India, it comes on the cusp. It sort of celebrates 250 years of the United States, but it also it comes at an interesting time when there have been huge concerns about the situation in West Asia and its impact, obviously, on the Indian economy. It also comes at a time when that trade deal between India and the US needs to be operationalized. How significant is this particular visit, given these 2 points that I referred to?
This is a very important visit because you have to understand, besides being Secretary of State, he's also the NSA head, and also he holds 2 other portfolios. So he is the point person for the president. You have to understand that geopolitically, the Quad is critical, both for the US and India, and you will have a discussion on that itself. The West Asian issue will be discussed between India and the US. You have to understand India holds the largest, most powerful navy in the Indian Ocean, and India can play a very pivotal role in a positive way. The trade, yes, the trade is going up, but I think we need to have a deal, and there will be some discussion on that. And also, you have to understand that the China summit, which took place between the president and President Xi and President Trump, there were discussions, and I think there will be a briefing by Secretary of State to the Indian government as to what was critical from that perspective, because it does have an impact on India. And so in every aspect, when you look at this visit is going to be critical both for the US and by the Secretary itself. So we welcome him to India and look forward to a very positive dialogue and discussion between the two countries.
All right, Mr. Aghi, thanks very much for being with us.